I just thought I was going through the garden, just kind of looking at things like you do. And I thought, there's a few things I want to do different next year. And this is about the time of year usually that I start going, I should have done this and I should have done that. So I'm just going to walk through and see what some of those things were, take note of them so I can look back and remember what it is I wanted to do different next year. I probably should pull the volunteers next year. This is a single, I believe, volunteer pumpkin or something. I actually haven't seen anything growing on it yet. No. Oh wait, no, what's that? There's something. I see a something. Oh yeah, look at these. Oh, you know what? That's why. I think these are, it's a Chinese squash. Summer or winter squash. And I do remember them getting pretty wild. So I think that's what this one is. So yeah, definitely should have pulled that one. Can't tell really when they first, come in what it is. And I thought, well, we'll give it a go. But you can't even walk through the aisleway here. It's starting to grow that way. It's entertaining. But this squash are fine. They're, a nice squash and you can eat them, decorative, either way. And this particular nasturtium is really nice. It's like vining out all over. It's huge leaves minus, grasshoppers. It's got really pretty orange flowers, so I really like this one. I think if the squash wasn't here, this would be really pretty in this spot. Maybe would even vine up. All right, over here, another thing I want to remember is this amaranth, which is currently probably 4 feet tall. It's in a raised bed. Gorgeous, but not a good spot for this one. Probably should have put that in the pollinator garden or something. I like it, but it's taking up a lot of space. And I put my sorrel down in between here because I thought, well, it's a jungle. I thought maybe the peas and the cucumbers were kind of shaded a little bit so it wouldn't bolt or anything, but I can't even get to it. And I don't know if that would be a whole lot different if the amaranth wasn't here, but that's another tough one. The celery I threw in here is actually not doing too bad. It is getting a little shaded, which I kind of had hoped for, just to keep it from getting too much sun, but it is kind of hard to keep these cucumbers. They're not climbing up as much as I wish they would. I definitely want to plant more. These are straw flowers. I love these. They're gorgeous, and I need to plant more of those. I need to keep track of which onions are bulbing and which are bunching. Pretty sure these are the bulbing onions, so let's see. Probably should have pulled the volunteer tomatoes. I pulled most of them out of the strawberry patch, but there are a few. And then this volunteer marigold just got wild, but I hate pulling volunteer flowers. There's another volunteer tomato. I kind of was wanting to find out what tomato it was, so I was leaving it grow. But my poor strawberry under here, she's getting a little shaded, so hopefully it'll be all right. I probably should get rid of some of those. Ended up planting another round of zinnias because my first round, most of what's come up so far has been the teeny tiny ones, and I really like the big ones, so I definitely should have planted more of those. I don't know if these are going to make it in time, if they'll flower. They just sprouted. I can't believe how slow the rosemary is going. I might try to overwinter these in a pot. We'll see. The pinto beans, I don't know that there's a whole lot I can do different about these. The grasshoppers are just going to town. I don't know if some neem oil or something will make a difference. I've got some coming because I ran out, but we'll see. The garlic, failed miserably. I'm going to buy new seed garlic, which I should look into before it gets too late. I'm not sure if I should do that in a different bed. I want to do a lot of it, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do about that. I could do, let me think. I could do like rows down the middle of the pumpkin patch because I think the garlic would have been ready you know, maybe a month ago, before the pumpkins got wild. I'll have to look at my last time I had garlic, what it was like, because I could do, you know, probably like 3 rows in each of those. It's hard with the beds because this is strawberries, so that stays, and then you run into the trellises here, and I have some herbs that are perennial, so they stay. So then you're putting the same thing in this bed every year. And I don't really know what happened to them. I think they maybe just weren't mulched good enough and froze or got eaten or something. I don't know. The weed situation here in the pollinator garden isn't great. More zinnias would be good. There's a bunch in here, but I don't know if the volunteer everything, mostly hollyhocks, are making it so they aren't growing. I had volunteer dill, and that disappeared. Maybe grasshoppers, maybe just smothered. I don't know. It's really hard to pull weeds in here because I've also got bulbs. I don't know what's coming up when it comes up, so this is a tough one. I don't know. This is one I'm gonna have to keep experimenting with. What I really want to do is I would love to have a hollyhock like field somewhere. I mean, the things reseed themselves like mad. I don't know, like if I could get something out here on this side and convince people not to mow it, that would be the main thing. I was supposed to have coreopsis in here. That didn't show up or has been smothered. I don't know. Potatoes did okay. I'm actually gonna have to dig up this row here because it died. I don't know if that's because it was ready or because of the grasshoppers. This one's starting to get eaten up now too. They work way better in the bed than they do in the bucket. I just do not have good luck with the bucket, so I think we're gonna not do that. Maybe, I don't know, tomatoes in the bucket or something in the bucket next year, or not have a bucket. I don't know. The tomatoes are doing okay, I think, for the most part. I'm not a big tomato grower person. I don't think there's a whole lot I want to do different. Beans, this was a late planting of green beans, and the grasshoppers are eating them down to nubs. I had thought about rotating and doing my corn out where the pumpkins are, putting the pumpkins back here, or at least half of them, so that's an idea. Maybe doing sweet corn. I haven't done that in a couple years. I can do popcorn in one place, sweet corn in another place, or don't do popcorn next year, sorry. Sorry, I have the soakers on and there's a leak, so it's gonna get me wet. I have yet to decide if there's anything I need to change about the pumpkin situation. Much better than last year. We changed from just mounds in the turf to a tilled chunk, and I think that's a lot nicer. Plus, maybe a combination of my efforts or the weather, but the squash vine borers appear to be not as bad as they have been, so that's nice. I still do have some weeds in here, so I'm questioning on if I should do the ground cover out here or not. I'd have to do some more research on that, but my trellis things are doing so-so. It's been so hot lately, it's really hard to tell if things are just desperate for water or if they're actually dying. They're climbing better than they did last year. I don't think they're going to make it all the way to the top, but I think loofah should go here next year because that stuff climbs so good. It's got to be the best climber. And this is a higher arch, so if I've got a bunch of loofah hanging down, I'm not going to clock myself in the head as often as I do over there. So, I'm definitely not putting loofah out too soon. That is the other key. Plant the loofah in large pots to start, so you don't have to pot them up, and so that they don't get super annoyed and leggy. So take note, self, don't do that again. Seems like the bottle gourds, the birdhouse gourds, climb pretty good, better than most of the stuff out here. Everything wants to go sideways, so maybe bottle gourds and loofahs out here, and smaller gourds in there next year. What else? There'll be more things I'll think of. I definitely want to get this patio done front of the greenhouse. Haven't really started it, through a couple blocks out just to see what it would be like. I'm really looking forward to that. I'm getting wet right now. Move. The wind really, chilly, takes that. Yeah, I'm excited for that because then I want to put more pots, and we're gotta finish the outside of this with some corrugated metal. Let's see if I can sneak back here without getting too wet. Definitely have to figure out what to do about the shade cloth, because without this it would be a million degrees in here, and we need to get ventilation. But overall, starting things in the greenhouse worked really well. A grasshopper just fell on me. Gross. So yeah, I think for now, that's what I'm thinking for my, plan for next year. I'll have to jot all that stuff down. I'm sure in a few weeks or a month or two, I'll figure out a few more things I wanted to do differently. Stuff maybe that I want to plant next year. I'd love, like I said, if I could have a field of flowers, hollyhocks, sunflowers, like just flowers. I'm not sure I can convince anybody of that, but maybe we'll work on them. Maybe it'll be a few years, but just say it'll save you mowing time, right? And it would be, oh gosh, instead of a corn maze, a hollyhock sunflower maze. Come on. Anyway, all right, well, I was doing some weed whacking, so I'm gonna go see if I can try not to kill things that I want to keep. But I hope you're having a good day.